Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now here's the guy who's the second most famous Rob who talks about Big Brother. I'm Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rob Has a Podcast here on a Thursday night. I just noticed the wardrobe change for one of our panelists. And it's a eviction night party here on a Thursday night as we await the wall comp coming up in just a bit. But first, let's bring in a man who I have to think is probably maybe a little excited tonight. It's Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
Rob, I genuinely I did not expect this result, but this is because primarily there's a zero flaw of Big Brother that I've learned this season that I forgot in all of the analysis this week, which is that Keanu always has to be wrong.
Yes.
And he was so sure that they had the votes to keep Rylie.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Keanu, very sad tonight to ultimately see as Rylie goes somewhat unexpectedly here tonight. And it was a tight vote, a 5-4 decision. So much to talk about here with us tonight as well. The great Maggie Morgan is here. Maggie, how are you?
I'm fabulous, Rob. It's party time.
Yeah, what are you drinking?
Let's freaking go. What do you think I'm drinking?
That's not a lemon drop, is it?
It's a dirty, filthy martini.
Yes.
I'm thrilled. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's freaking go.
Cheers. Okay. All right. 180 seconds at a time. Here we go. And here with us, it is, of course, the guy who is the master of the Survivor preseason. Here he is, Cowboy Mike Bloom. Yeehaw!
Yeehaw, Rob. Yeah, just wanted to don this particular piece of headwear so I could go, Yahoo! Woo! Y'all hungry? Y'all hungry?
Hey, that's my thing, Mike. You can't have M&Ms.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
M&M were not devoured tonight. It was the Rylie who ended up getting bucked off the Bronco. Very fun episode to talk about here, guys. Very excited to come be here.
Yeah, really an eventful night to talk about here as we get this rather unexpected result, a wild blockbuster finish, some curious decisions made there, and then, of course, a whole new ball game here as Rachel's HOH really did break everything in the house, and so we'll talk about all that as we await a wall comp, which is going to be huge coming after this divided vote 5-4 in the House. And at some point tonight, we are expecting to see the wall comp play out. And what a great night to have a presenting sponsor for this episode of the podcast. And those are our friends. Welcome, Pluto TV. Pluto TV allows you to stream so many amazing channels of television anywhere, anytime, and you pay $0 for Pluto TV. They've got the Big Brother live feeds, all the cameras, the quad cam as well. And so when the wall comp starts tonight, you will be able to watch it for free over at Pluto TV. And of course, we'll keep one eye on the live feeds to talk about any wall comp developments that should happen. As of this time right now, Taran, it has not begun, and we're not sure exactly at what time they're going to load them into the wall comp.
Yeah, I've been told that last year it started after the West Coast airing. I don't remember, to be honest. I feel like they've been pushing things back more and more lately. But if it turns on, we will talk about it.
Okay, and we'll talk about as it's happening. So spoilers in advance for the wall comp. We're going to talk about it here tonight. Of course, you can watch it play out on the episode on Sunday night, which is coming after a Big Brother Unlocked. And Mike, I was really thrown for a loop when they announced the mystery guest for Big Brother Unlocked was none other than your friend and mine, Boston Rob Mariano.
Yeah, more like Big Brother Uncaged. We've got 2/3 of the Cage Boys.
The Cage Boys. Get Wes in there to talk about it. I was so shocked because in my 20-some-odd year history of knowing Rob Mariano, never once have I heard him reference anything about watching Big Brother. I don't know if he has gotten up to speed just to talk about Big Brother 26. it will be very interesting to hear his thoughts.
Is he plugging something? Like I'm so.
He's just on tour. He's plugging everything, Taran.
I was saying, man, more like PGA Tour. He's done a lot of golf commercials as of late. I feel like that's what my algo's been crowded with.
Sorry, go ahead, Taran.
Maybe he just dove in for Suri, and BB25. I don't know.
It sounds like that Julie Chen Moonves is trying to recruit him for Big Brother 28. Are you ready for that, Taran?
Yeah, well, listen, Rachel, Rylie, Boston Rob, we're just kicking legends into the house.
Yeah,
right, the person who made all those Boston Rob young fan cams is going to have to rile that account back up. They're going to be back in business next summer.
You're going to be back in business. Okay. All right. So we'll see what happens there on Sunday night when one of our guests from last night, Taylor Hale, who joined us on, I said it was an all-timer. Me and Taran with Taylor and Brendan Villegas had and it was good juju for Rachel because it ultimately ends up her HOH ends up going her way. Taran, let's just talk about the vote and start there. And of course, don't forget tomorrow, the highly anticipated Rylie exit interview. Boy, we had that ready to go.
Rob, all week long I've been thinking about Mickey questions. And now it's time to transition.
Yes. Okay. So we'll join us on Friday when we check in with Rylie.
I know he's going to have a lot of riveting game to discuss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot of really exciting things that he did in the house that were really game focused.
Listen, he talked about having having no boundaries, so I'm sure we can ask him plenty about boundaries.
Yes, he did not have boundaries. Taran, okay, so let's just start off with, Rylie's departure from the house. What does it mean moving forward?
So much. I mean, it's such a dramatic difference, especially considering that he could have been a favorite for the wall comp. Rylie leaving here means that not only is he gone and that changes how the house looks, but it also means that the wall comp is now open even more so for anybody to theoretically win. Even more than that, though, the way that Vince flipped his vote, where he blindsided Catherine and Keanu and Kelly again, is... I do still think that he needed to keep Morgan in the game, but what kind of damage control he can do specifically with people like Keanu is going to be very important.
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to keep hold of Lauren? Those are important things, but the house is definitely looking fairly split at the moment. Though it wouldn't surprise me if Mickey tried her best to side with the Catherine side of things.
And what a turn of events, Maggie. I can't believe that this wall comp is about to come on, and I'm going to be rooting for Morgan in the wall comp now.
Morgan, let's go, Morgan.
Maggie Morgan. Yeah, just like that there was Rachel, Rylie, and Rylie. That there's now Maggie Morgan and Morgan.
I always said that Maggie Morgan was the perfect combo of Morgan and Maggie Osborne together.
Oh, great. Too awesome. No, but this is just so thrilling to me. I came in it really is what Taran said when it comes to the show. Like, keep your expectations low, and then you get to celebrate in a moment like this.
The lowest expectations.
Expect the lowest expectations. I was texting with a friend earlier who's newer to Big Brother. He just started watching last year. And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. And I texted him and was like, this is historic. This is a night I do think everybody will remember. Day 44 turned out to be nothing, Taran, but day 45, it really stepped its game up.
It's like a leap year. Yeah, it was the day after.
Yeah. This is very, very much like the exhaust vent on the Death Star in terms of this actually happening. It required specifically Mickey winning the blockbuster. It required specifically Mickey not turning on Morgan, which we weren't sure that she wouldn't do. It required Ava wavering again today during while the feeds were up before the eviction. And Vince actually turning, and all of them following through with it. And even through all of that, I'm watching Ava, the final vote, about to cast her vote, stop, look like she's about to say Morgan, stop again, and then finally say Rylie. There's so many different ways this could have not happened, and it's actually wild that it did.
Taran,
And
were
you know,
okay.
I was just gonna say, you know who we have to thank for this? It's that Etsy witch.
Oh,
Whoever you
Etsy
are.
witch?
I was gonna blame the ball.
Cheers to you.
Because you
know?
talk about Taran, the 1 in a million shot. I feel like Mickey had that Luke Skywalker energy with
Yeah, well,
rolling that
you know
ball
what?
down
Let's
that
talk
lane.
about the blockbuster separate because there's a lot to unpack also from the blockbuster. Taran, were you expecting this outcome at the time they went to go vote? Did you think they had the votes to take out Rylie?
So what we saw today was that Ava did seem to start to lean back toward evicting Rylie over specifically Morgan. And so that was something, but we did not see Vince really move in that direction. In fact, he seemed to be moving in the opposite direction. He was asking Morgan today if she would still be friends with him if he evicted her. And she was like, yeah, but not if you did it tonight. And he was sobbing a mess all day. Like he was in turmoil. And so it felt like, sure, maybe it's possible. Maybe it's possible that like, Ava could get there. Maybe Vince could get there, but it would also require Mickey to just happen to also be there. And so that felt really tough to get to. Once the blockbuster happened, we knew that Ava and Vince were planning to talk and see where their guts were telling them to go. Seemingly, Ava locked in with her gut to be for Morgan to stay. But they didn't have a lot of time to talk because they were interrupted by Rachel. And then Keanu and Rylie and them like basically walked over and like talk blocked the rest of it. And I was like, I don't know where Vince is standing here. But then it was hearing Vince tell Keanu, hey, I heard that Rylie was coming for you. That was when I was like, oh my God, wait. That was the plan if we're voting out Rylie.
Yeah, and then we saw this tonight, right? There was a moment where in the rare amount of time they don't spend in the living room during this extended hug/planning session after the blockbuster, like Vince pulls Keanu aside, and at least from what I heard, right, he was saying like, hey, this was saying about, Rylie would put you up. Is that true? And Keanu's like, oh, no, definitely not. Don't believe him. And that might have been the linchpin to your earlier point, Taran, to confirm Vince voting Rylie out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about the blockbuster because there was some wild moments in the blockbuster where, okay, from my perspective, here's Rylie. We see Rylie gets a 29 pretty early on. And he kind of does the thing that, Taran, you said that Keanu was threatening to do of like, I'm just going to basically like stand by the button and then buzz in like if it looks like it's going to ultimately go my way. And I think he must have been like so focused on what was going on with Morgan, who then rolls a 29 and ties him. But classic Big Brother blockbuster camera work, unbeknownst to us, Mickey off screen has hit a 38.
It's like jazz, Rob. It's all about the shots you don't see.
Yeah,
this should be the Helen was pushed conspiracy of like
someone just drops the ball in
off
38.
screen. Mickey hits the 38.
I don't understand. Also, like somebody online suggested maybe they couldn't see each other's balls. No, that's not true at all. Like I don't know how it's possible that Rylie saw Morgan was tied with him, saw Mickey at a 38, and then buzzed in. What was he doing?
I mean, if anything, that is extremely disadvantageous to the other two people on the sides because Morgan and Mickey probably couldn't see what the other one was doing. And Rylie would have the best vantage point.
He has the best vantage. So the best strategy here is keep going until you get a really good score. And then don't buzz it in, but wait to see if anybody beats your score. Because there's no point in buzzing in yet.
So he starts off, he's there, okay?
Yeah.
So he has the 29, and then Morgan gets the 29, and she goes and buzzes in. And Mickey has a 38 and buzzed in. He has like a minute left. Like he has like lots of time just to go and try it again. He's like nothing to lose at this point. Yet he goes and buzzes in with the tie score as Morgan.
So I believe, I could be wrong. I believe what happened is he's waiting and watching, definitely in an advantageous position in the middle. He's also tall. He gets to see it like much better than anyone else. Morgan rolls a 29. runs back to the buzzer, because if she buzzes in before him, then that, I assume, is the tiebreaker between the two of them.
Okay.
He, in a panic, is probably trying to see what Morgan has before he buzzes in. Then Morgan buzzes in, and he buzzes in a panic, trying to like get it to before her, but doesn't, and stupidly ends up hitting the button anyway. Then they both look over, and oh, wait a minute, Mickey's done with a 38.
I mean, I guess that is that sort of mimicking our own viewing experience, right? Maybe our POV was supposed to be from the Rylie perspective. And it was like, all right, we're focusing on him. He has the 29. He's squatting there. He knows what to do. Okay, Morgan buzzed in. I'm going to do this thing. And then camera opens wide, right? From the 4:3 to the widescreen to reveal, oh yeah, Mickey actually had a 38 the entire time. But I'm sure this is going to be something that we're all going to get into with him tomorrow, amongst many other topics, because yeah, this to me just came down to like, both bad clock management in honor of the upcoming football season, as well as just like pretty much having the blinders on to Morgan and Morgan only without being concerned about the third person in the picture.
It's also so fitting, because something that we haven't talked about a lot, it wasn't in the episodes, is that like Rylie buzzing in a losing, he buzzed in when he had already lost to Morgan and then ended up losing to Mickey also. But this is also fitting for how he ended up on the block in the first place, which is that he's basically the reason that he is the one that undid all of the work Catherine did to try to get Lauren to not use the veto. He walked in and said, hey, hey, Lauren, you should use the veto. Let's force Rachel to show her cards. And he was her cards. And then in the blockbuster, he hit a button when he had already lost. And now he's going to be away from Catherine for so long.
I love this song, Taran. Keep going. I
Yeah.
love the song.
I mean, Taran, as recently as this weekend, you were talking about him as somebody who is a favorite to win the game at this point. Incredible positioning.
Listen,
And this,
Rob,
this is not a. I'm not criticizing you. This is not
No.
This is not a Taran was wrong
No.
take.
No.
This is the house is wrong.
This is who they are. Zach, a favorite to win, doesn't use the veto on himself.
Yeah.
Rylie, a favorite to win, encourages somebody to use the veto when he could be a renom, and is voted out. What are these people doing? I don't know.
Yep. And Brendan was here last night, and we talked about the decision to put Rylie up on the block, and it was referenced about Corey was saying no, this was the wrong decision, and Brendan said the defense was like, hey, this is the right decision. You all just don't see it yet. In this house, this is the right decision. If you think it's wrong, it's actually right.
Wow, Rachel's the Vincent Van Gogh. We just didn't appreciate her work until much later.
This week in the Stock Watch, we said, like, we have certain ratings, but there's so much that could change. But despite everything, there's never been a one rating in the Stock Watch I've been more proud of than Rylie's this week, because he definitely deserved it.
I mean,
Incredible.
It's unbelievable. This has to be, and this will, I think, always be the season with the most unforced errors I think I've ever seen in the history of reality television. It just seems every week, and it's almost like a Russian nesting doll, to your point, where it's like, okay, yes, Rylie buzzed in simultaneously prematurely and also incorrectly, but that's nested within the fact that he shouldn't have been on the block in the first place, which is nested within the fact that, Lauren ends up using the veto, despite the fact that Rachel said that Rylie was going to go up. It's just bad decisions all the way down, including Vince, again, just deciding to be like, all right, yep, Rylie's gone right now, and I'm not going to tell half the house that I promised my vote to. And
can I also just say, like, yes, it's bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. I'm having fun. Tonight specifically, I'm having a great time. Yeah. And, somebody in the chat, I believe D said, it's like Survivor Gabon. No wonder I'm having a great time, everybody. It's like
Survivor
everybody
Gabon
is
was leagues ahead.
Crystal
we didn't have live
can quite
feeds
literally run laps around these people in terms of strategy.
I would honestly rather have this than a steamroll, I will say, because there is something so satisfying about the comeuppance of it all that's happening. And we were getting really frustrated earlier in the season. I remember coming on many a live feed update with Taran and getting so frustrated because we felt like people weren't getting their comeuppance. They were making these terrible moves and then everything was just fine the week after. But So it's not the case anymore. Now everybody's eating a little bit of humble pie and is in a situation where they've got to figure out, oh,
yeah,
maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have used the veto on myself. Maybe I shouldn't have convinced Lauren to use the veto on Vince, someone I don't even like.
Yeah. Well, how about this for Mickey? Not only did she steal Riley's HOH, she also stole his spot in the game. Should have been her tonight.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the edit was setting it up for what it's worth. Like we were getting a heavy dose between last night's episode and this of like, Mickey so on her high horse, but it was the bull rider to get bucked off at the end of the day.
What do we think the future for the once and former Mictator looks like?
She's lost a lot of ground with her own group. I think she can probably claw some of it back. But there's also a chance she just fully abandons ship and goes straight over to Catherine and Lauren. Catherine and Lauren, I guess at this point.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it's like then it's also Keanu and Kelly over there. Like that whole side is just cooked unless they win HOH.
Right. Taran, you think she would leave Will behind?
She still, that's the thing. She still thinks she has Will and Ashley. And so I think they will continue to string her along. And that will likely just kind of keep her in stasis for a while. But really, who knows? She's now become, I would say, one of the Keanu Kellys. Like, she's in that space.
Which is, I don't know, it's wild because, again, watching the playback of, I would just say Mickey's audacity as a general title for it, to the point where she's sitting there with Ashley right at the table in front of Rylie and Catherine being like, oh, well, much like that toilet paper, you're really up Rachel's butt this week, aren't you?
No.
And
Ashley's butt, that's toilet paper.
And we should point out that Mickey's particular comment she throws out is like, you're up, in Rachel's HOH room more than my room, when, correct me if I'm wrong, Taran, one of her many high-level strategies to utilize during her 10 out of 10 HOH week was purposely icing Ashley out of the HOH room and leaving whenever she tried to approach the situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's Mickey does what Mickey does.
Let's talk about where Rachel is after all of this, because it was such an eventful HOH run for her, where it looked like in the beginning of the week she had things really set up, and then it looked like, no, this has gone horribly wrong. She's might be very well the next person out. But now after this, Taran, what do you think about Rachel's spot?
It's significantly better. There is a lot of space for her now. Like, basically, this shot lands, people are going to be fearful. And it's going to be hard to feel like they want to take a shot. Keanu can be mad, but now Rachel can say to Keanu, I told you so. Mm-hmm. I told you couldn't trust Vince. Mm-hmm. I told you. And Vince, in order to protect himself from Keanu, is going to have to say, Keanu, I'm telling you, Rylie was against you. And Rachel will say, I told you so, Keanu. Mm-hmm. And where's Keanu going to go? Of course, he's going to go back to Rachel. So that's solid. And she's now got, like, as long as she's able to hold Morgan at bay for at least another week, especially if Morgan wins this HOH, like, she's got a lot of space. Now, like, long term, she still has some issues of people not being, like, super loyal to her. But this is a phenomenal result for her HOH. And it's quite frankly much better than any other result would have been. It was a rough road getting there, and there were a lot of risks, but the payoff is incredible.
I mean, should we ask the question, Taran? Like, again, this is almost the opposite of damning with faint praise. Is this like the most useful, best result HOH of the season, or does that go to last week?
Oh, no, easily. Easily the best result of the season. I mean, Ava taking out Zach was good. It definitely helped shape things. But Rylie, the Rylie eviction just fully destroys any remnants of that side. Again, they could win an HOH, and that could change things again. But like, it really breaks up the entire house, and puts Rachel and all of Rachel's allies into the power position for the first real time in the season.
Yeah. Is the judges a real thing now moving forward?
Ask us after we finish the HOH competition. And
No,
we'll let
I'm
you know, Rob.
even going to say that towards no, it's not. Jury's out for the judges by the end of this week. Nothing sticks. This is a laminated season. Nothing is getting onto it. It's all dripping off in terms of strategy. There is no sort of solid structure going on at any point in time. This is a gelatinous house, and it is not going to solidify anytime soon, in my opinion. I think the judges found a mutually aligned agreement this week to be like, yep, let's keep Morgan. In this case, again, this was a very fortuitous situation like we saw a number of times this season where the right person had to win. And so I think it's going to be donezo by the end of the week next week.
I can say something. So I've been, for the stock watch, I've been compiling some of the like previous season numbers for like some visuals for future roundtables. And one of the things that I was doing was putting together all of the different HOH reign ratings that we've gotten in the stock watch since Big Brother 24 is when we started it. And even before this result, Rachel's HOH reign was the highest rated HOH reign since I started asking the question in Big Brother 24.
Wow.
And that was before Rylie actually was evicted.
I could not see a path prior to her putting him up that he was not in the final 6. Like, I couldn't see a path where he wouldn't win a veto or a blockbuster or be like, I truly did not, in whatever crystal ball that Etsy witch put out for us, I did not see this future happening. And I mean, Big Brother giveth, Big Brother taketh away.
Thank you, Bat Jesus.
Yes, thank
Praise
you.
be to Asmodeus.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, Wild. He ends up leaving the house. Do we say he won a comp? I mean, he won the HOH, but then it was taken from him.
He won a blockbuster.
He won the blockbuster. He won an HOH.
And he won, honestly, the first endurance challenge of the season. Forget the wall. It was the length and time it took for him to leave the house in the first place.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he leaves behind Catherine, who we saw him, have a very long goodbye. Julie had to say, like, all right, come on, Rylie, let's get out of here. So where does Catherine's game go from here? Because we have not really seen Catherine get to play.
I actually think there's opportunity here for Catherine. Obviously, it's never good in the game generally to lose somebody who is going to win comps and is endlessly loyal to you. It's still bad for her game on the sort of like the whole. But specifically with Rylie, he was such an anchor to her strategically. Case in point, this week when he undid all of the work that she was doing to try to prevent Lauren from using the veto. On top of that now, this will force her to really get out there and socialize more with other people. And she does have some good relationships with people like Ava, certainly Lauren still. And I don't think that anybody on the, quote unquote, other side has any significant issue with Catherine. And if she's able to sort of like rein it in and start, working, I actually think she might end up with more win equity than she had prior, because she's in a house where like all of a sudden she's more capable of winning competitions, more capable of gaining respect from the other players, and more capable of getting into a favorable endgame spot. So, it is, all hope is certainly not lost. She's probably in some immediate danger just on sort of momentum, but I think that she could certainly pull something out of this.
But if she does win the game, Taran, she is in more danger of getting proposed to on the finale.
That is true.
That is true. Yeah.
To be fair, if she wins the game, I don't know if it'll make the episode, right? Because after the final two come out of the house, they have like 3 minutes at the very end to give some final words.
Tell the producers.
Mike, I was about to say,
song.
Mike, please. They will make sure there is a red carpet camera moment ready for the proposal.
No, the camera's going to be on like a camera operator in the back row, considering how they usually film these live episodes while they're proposing.
Yeah. Okay. So could Catherine unite the other side? Do we think that she's capable of that?
If she wins an HOH, I mean, like if her or Lauren, and I would say Lauren is definitely somebody who is very capable of winning a wall competition. If they win HOH, then they can sort of reorganize. I think Catherine has the sort of active mindset enough to actually do that. I don't think Lauren does. But it's like, who does she go to? Because it's not like she loves Keanu. It's not like she loves Kelly. She does love Lauren, but Lauren comes with Vince, who just blindsided her. So, like, where does that go? Rachel just lied to them. She's not going to, I think, feel like she can work with Rachel. So does she go back to, like, say Mickey and Morgan? That seems likely to me. I think that Morgan gains a lot here. Mickey, I think, is still going to be, trying to regain any ground she has, but there's a chance with the right HOH outcome, she can have some space to rebuild. So it's really, there's so much that's dependent on this HOH result and where things go from here and how people do damage control.
I feel like generally, we talk about what, like, the alarming statistic of how many Big Brother winners had at least some sort of showmance, over the course of the season. And I think it happens for a number of reasons. One, obviously having a sort of like locked in person does help from both a stability perspective as well as a strategic perspective. You have extra eyes, you have extra ears, but we talk all the time about how, despite Walter White saying there are no half measures, there are half measures everywhere in reality TV, where, whether it be romantic or otherwise, you get rid of one member of the power couple, and then it's like, we can worry about that other person later. We've got bigger fish to fry. And I really do think that Catherine sort of has possibly that, like, Lisa Donahue upside of, like, okay, we don't need to worry about her anymore. You know, they're not the showmans, this twosome that's
she didn't vote to evict Rylie. That's
true. We'll have to see if Rylie gets the chance to come back. Then maybe she'll complete the full circle at that point. But it leaves her, as Taran says, as sort of like what happened with Lisa, with Jason and Danielle at the end, more of like a free agent, a singular person to pick up that can kind of be used. However,
yeah. Did you check your email, Mike, and make sure that they didn't say the Rylie exit interview is canceled because there's a battle back?
Oh, that's true. I do not know.
Gotta double check. I don't have that email yet.
She revealed the votes, so.
I agree with you, Mike. I think that the path I see moving forward for Catherine is if she can lay low for the next week or two and kind of weasel her way in, kind of see where the chips fall. I can really see her making a run for this. And I'm really, really rooting for her to do that. Like, I really am. I'm really hopeful that she's lost this showmance that was taking up all of her time, all of her energy, like sucking the life out of her, and that she has this opportunity to really move forward. I could even see her in a couple of weeks. I agree, Taran. I don't think she'll want to work with Rachel now. I could see her in a couple of weeks, maybe linking up with Rachel. I don't know. I feel like there's space for that. And also, just going back to the Rachel HOH of it all, Rachel went into this HOH being the primary house target, and she managed to cause so much chaos this week that she is no longer in that position. And I think that is also something that people really need to recognize, people who are going to play Big Brother, because oftentimes you see these people who are huge house targets go up, win this power, and then they do something to appease the house. It's the classic Jessica Graf HOH and BB19, where you do something, you think that you're making good with the house. You think, you're going to make everybody like you, not cause any waves. The key when you're in a bad position is to make as many waves as possible so that by the end of the week, everybody's looking at each other and not at you. Like, yes, I do think that these people will be mad at Rachel, but Vinny, like Keanu, Kelly, Catherine, all of them having this happen to them again by Vinny, like, it's so good. It's so good.
She put up 3 targets, 3 people that she would benefit from if they left. She didn't appease the house. And she comes out this week in a better position than she came into it. It sometimes really is that simple. Could she have been, more effective in like how she set things up? Could it have been not so close? Sure. But the actions themselves speak to the effectiveness of the end result.
Yep.
This is a massive, massive move, and it has skyrocketed Rachel's equity to win this. It doesn't mean she's will. It doesn't mean she's not in immediate danger still.
Right.
But she came into this week a near house consensus target and is coming away from this week in one of the better spots.
Let's bring in Vince into this. And he really got a lot of the focus in the episode. Even the previously on Big Brother was about all of Vince's final twos that he has set up and this web that Vince has weaved. And they even made a really big deal in the episode about how, Mike, Vince forgot that he had a final two with Kelly.
It's giving Suri. I love it that this man he wrote so many checks when he entered the Big Brother bank. And then he's like, oh, you're trying to cash those? I don't know what's in my account right now. And I do like that. It does feel very like both relatable and of course very meta for him to like actually question out loud in the diary room, which we have talked about many times, especially from a US perspective, may not present the most authentic deliveries. Like you could legitimately tell Vince is like, oh my God, I do have a final two with Rylie. Huh, fancy that. Didn't really remember that.
Yeah. But he has to remember he had a final two with Kelly. Remember, he put her on the block.
I think he'd prefer to forget about that week, to be completely honest.
I also think, Taran said on one of the live feed updates this week that Vince's primary motivation, and I do think that this is really, really important when you're looking at the game of Big Brother as a whole and you're looking at the players, like look at someone and be like, okay, what motivates them? Like Morgan is motivated by attention, words of affirmation. Like that's what you need if you want to get Morgan on your side. Vince is motivated by people not being mad at him. The least like pressure on Vince, he will crumble. And I think that was so apt, Taran, because even tonight he was in a position where he truly was in the middle. And it's like, who will be more mad at me? And I honestly think the thing that caused him to go the way that he did was not that Morgan is the type of person who would lie her life down for him in the game. It's not that she would be a better ally. It's that when they left the house, Morgan will be way more mad at him than Rylie would be. And I genuinely think that's why he didn't vote out Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, look at Riley's muted to say the least reaction when he found out it was he's like, okay, lol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he genuinely was asking Morgan, like, will you be friends with me outside of here? Like, and he was super, and people were like, oh, Vince, the mastermind. He is pretending to be upset so that he can lay the groundwork for voting Morgan. No, I think he was genuinely freaking out because he was actually worried Morgan would just be that mad at him. And I think this also speaks to, there's a chance he was playing up the fact that he didn't remember these final twos in the diary room, but I don't think it should be surprising that he might forget because he will just say anything in any given conversation and doesn't mean it all the time.
He's not doing the Will thing, is he?
Will took after Vince.
I do think as well, there is also some utility where much like we talk about, people becoming Pawn Stars because it's like, okay, this is one less person that will become, pissed at me and only me because they get nominated by so many different people. When they have revenge, they'll have, their own Arya Stark-esque list. Vince and Zach, may he rest in peace, have technically blindsided Kelly, Keanu, Catherine before with the Adrian vote. And so, granted, I'll be intrigued to see if Vince is going to come egg hat in hand and do the exact same routine, literally on his knees, begging for mercy. But at least from that perspective, he's like, all right, in this case, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. I know what I have to do to allay any sort of fears with these people. I don't know if I want to piss off the other side, because the other side also does a lot better job comparing receipts about what I am capable of. So let me try to curry favor with them as much as possible.
Okay, so we got Morgan, certainly, as a favorite in the wall comp tonight. Who else are we looking at as potential big front runners for the wall comp win?
I feel like it's like wall comp 1.0 and wall comp 2.0, considering they changed something in the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, it can be so hard to predict genuinely who is going to win. I mean, basically how it works is there are a set amount of people who just aren't winning. Mm-hmm. And then there's a group of people who are like capable of winning, And then there are a couple people who are the favorites. And I would say, and sometimes you think someone's a favorite and they're like third out. And that could be Morgan, right? Like she's been talking about it forever. But Morgan could certainly be a favorite. She has the athleticism, the sort of like body type to potentially do really well. Lauren also could do well, but again, it can sometimes just depend on the hand placement. Those would be the top two I'm looking out for, but I also would not sleep on Keanu. He's big, but he's strong and he's very like well balanced. If he has the right angle and he's got good grip strength, which he does, he could do really well for sure. Even somebody like Vince, who has like the Matt Hoffman build a little bit, who classically used to do very well at endurance comps. Could certainly hang in there for a little while. So I think there's all kinds of different options.
I think that honestly, Rob, like the most important thing that we'll have to look out for is where they are on the wall. And once that goo hits, who is being, Hannah Chada goggle full of goo and who is Jared Fields who's missing all of the goo. I think that is a huge part of it too.
They did kind of fix it last year. It was much more spread out.
Okay, that's good, Taran. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that also, again, when I talk about sort of the delineations between eras of the wall comp is I feel like, as Taran mentioned, like Nicole Franzel's another great example of like the prototypical wall comp winner, right? Which was like the smaller frame because of those small footholds that allows you to basically hang on, where in the era where you could squat and hold on, again, the people who had the bigger frames are more at a disadvantage. But I feel like starting with Big Brother 21, when Mickey won it, it became, especially with the handholds, more of an upper body strength competition. So we had Jared win it in 25. We had Tucker win it last year.
Okay, but Mike, he actually did not win a wall. It was that hanging thing. Remember? Because he peed. I'll never forget it. It was like the hanging like puppet thing. Wasn't it?
There was a wire comp, but he did. I do believe he won a wall as well.
Oh, so it was both. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Holly won that one. Now I'm remembering. But yeah, okay, then never mind. Forget me.
Should we talk about Julie's conversation with Rylie from the episode? Because I think that this was something that we were all wondering, how are they going to set this up? And so Julie gets the chance to talk to Rylie. He didn't have that much to say. But Julie starts off by really asking him about, what do you think happened? And he said, Rachel did a lot of, and I can't even pronounce the way he said manipulating. Yeah.
She manipulated.
Going full Sue Hawk there. Right?
She got him. And Julie's trying to get a reaction out of him that Vince voted you out. He's like, well, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Ava also voted you out. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's his own fault, he says, that he buzzed in with a 29. That's the only person he can blame for this.
I mean, maybe that's sort of like why it took him so long to get out of the house to the point where the orchestra was playing him off. Like, maybe he was trying to go through the 5 stages of grief and is like now firmly in the, it's my own fault. I'll be intrigued, obviously, with a little bit more time, what he's going to say tomorrow and who he is going to blame. But I think, at this moment, while he is a very emotional person, I don't know if it was the shock of it all, whether it was him again sort of settling into the circumstances. I mean, for what it's worth, can we talk about that fake out for a second? Because welcome back, X, you are safe. Why you have been evicted by the Big Brother house. And again, masterful work by these camera people, like not even going to Morgan, just zooming right in on Rylie, saying the money shot.
Because I don't know if he even knew that they do that sometimes.
Definitely not.
You could tell he was nervous when the votes started to be read. I think especially when Ava was crying. I think that was definitely like a giveaway.
Rachel was like really comforting. Rachel had left her seat, which was on the left side of the couch, and was like completely like basically like just trying to console Ava in that moment. Yeah. The thing about Rylie, and I think, Taran, you documented a lot of this. It seems like that there is like the mask on and mask off Rylie that we see. And this is like the good sport. It was my own fault. I can't blame anybody but myself. I don't know if that's actually how he feels.
Oh, no. We saw how he felt on the feeds, right?
Yeah.
We heard him say things like, that effer better not flip on me. I'll rip his head off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he even said to Julie when she was like, you said you're going to propose, you want to marry Catherine. And he was like, you heard that? And I was like, oh, Rylie, we heard it all. Don't you worry. We heard it all.
All on Pluto TV.
Hey.
Yeah, check it out.
Stream now, pay never.
Yeah. What is it about Catherine? Julie wanted to know. And he said, it's her smile, the way she cares. She makes me feel like I'm the only man in the whole world.
Rihanna said it best, I suppose.
Listen, he came close. If he had just taken out 3 more guys in that house.
Yeah. Julie asked a question about you plan on marrying her. And did he say love knows no boundaries?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. In one of the most ironic quotes I have heard in quite some time on this planet.
It's like, who mentioned boundaries, bro?
Yeah. We know boundaries. Boundaries and Rylie do not get along. Maggie, we had a return of Julie's famous question. Rylie, what's harder, riding bulls or playing? Usually only reserved for celebrity Big Brother.
And you know, do you think she got the answer she wanted, Rob?
What did he say?
I think at that point I was jumping up and down. And
Yeah, he said, I think he said he's been
I
riding bulls for 15 years, and so that's hard.
Yeah, so like by comparison, it's pretty easy. Yeah.
Well, Rob, he risks his life for 8 seconds at a time. So
8 seconds at a time. Yeah.
I think that she should have asked him.
It was a real Dominic Toretto.
I think that she should have asked him if he wanted to fight a giant mosquito. Or if
Maggie did not know where you were going with that
he
first.
was okay. Oh no! If he wanted to fight a giant mosquito, or if he was okay with his relationship currently.
Would you rather fight a giant mosquito one time and have your ass kicked, or would you rather have you keep your current condition with mosquitoes, your current relationship?
Listen, if that mosquito kicks my ass, I got nothing to blame but myself. You know.
Yeah,
I find a certain affinity with mosquitoes. I feel like I can relate to them.
Yeah,
but if it comes near Catherine, I'm gonna stick my hand so into its thorax it'll explode within me.
Yep. And Julie gave him the Godspeed.
He might need it. Yeah.
And you know, notably, she didn't say he was a child of God.
No.
You didn't get that.
I think that's only Claire. Yeah. I'm sure he will have a riveting God 101 coming out on Julie's Instagram later on this week. And then we had Derek and Taylor stop by for teasing of the Big Brother Unlocked and the new format time. And of course, Taylor won the wall comp. Derek said that he's been getting some you-know-what from Taylor backstage.
Whoa.
Yeah. She's bragging about the wall comp. So we're also going to have a visit with Will's family coming up.
This is interesting because I think once we got the Rachel segment made a lot of sense, right? We used to get this on previous eviction shows when it was like, okay, hey, we're going to check in with the families of the house guests. I didn't think it would apply to, the people outside of the returning, which makes me happy. We get to see Chocolate Drop make her TV debut besides being in that like random dream bubble in the corner when Will's drifting off for the umpteenth time. We get to meet, his kids as well. So I'm excited. I really miss these parts of the eviction shows that have gone away, probably like 15 years ago at this point. So I'm happy that we found sort of a venue to bring them back. Big Brother Unlocked really is sort of like the odd scrapple of these Big Brother shows where it's like a little bit of everything just kind of mixed into one thing and they serve it up to you. And so if we're bringing back sort of these old school elements that we haven't seen in quite some time, I'm happy to see it in some sort of way, shape, or form.
Well, I found it interesting. On the previously on segment for this episode, they showed the montage of Vince's final twos, which, to my knowledge, was strictly from Big Brother Unlocked. That they hadn't actually shown this in the episodes
true.
proper. They had shown this montage of Vince and his final twos on Big Brother Unlocked, and then they were like, previously on Big Brother, Vince was making all kinds of final twos, and it's like, oh well, yeah, that's interesting that they're incorporating it like that.
Is it like going to see a Marvel movie and like a character from one of the TV shows shows up and you're like, God damn it, I didn't watch this. Who is this? Why should I care about them?
Well, luckily we got the previously on. So.
And then, okay, we bring out our mystery guest. Our clues were we talked about this on the Club Condo this week. The clue was, is that Amber? But I can't possibly be Boston Rob talking about Big Brother. And then there was a clue about T, and they said it was a survivor. I'm like, is this what I think it is? And then here comes Boston Rob to talk about this. Now, I thought this was on Derek's part, Mike. Of course, you're a close confidant. And that he says that he'll play again if Boston Rob plays. Now, I think this was a very smart bet on Derek's part.
Exactly.
Because Boston Rob will not ever play Big Brother.
Yeah, it's fantastic, right? Because it's really saying like, balls in your court, buddy. If you ever want to do this, I am there for you. We are locked in. And so Derek gets to look like the supportive player for his friend, while Boston Rob, yeah, to your point,
He's calling his bluff.
Is never going to do this.
Taran, you will never have seen a person who hates being in the Big Brother house more than Boston Rob would be.
He'd be over that wall faster than Meta World Peace. He'd be gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah. He could maybe do like a Scaramucci.
I was the twist.
Yeah. Maybe he could come in for a couple days. That's it. He's no interest.
He'd show up for wardrobe for the first comp and he'd be like, you want me to wear that?
Mm-hmm.
I think Amber would be good at Big Brother.
Sure. I think she has no desire also to go and play Big Brother.
But I think out of the two of them, like, she would be good.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually we need to have maybe the reason how Boston Rob can really thread this needle. What if he plays a real tertiary role? What if they do Big Brother Reindeer Games 2 and he's Santa?
I think he could do it. Hey, ho, ho, ho. What do you want?
Smarten up. You're going to get some coal.
You know, I think he could get into it like, who's been on the good list? Who's on the naughty list this year? You're getting coal. So I think he could pull it off. I like that he was also like, hey, Julie, I don't drink tea.
Why don't he have an issue with the social media team, I guess?
I love how Derek and Taylor immediately jumped to the defense of like, oh, it's Boston Tea Party. He's like, I know, I'm giving her crap.
I don't like the insinuation that I'm a tea drinker.
Julie's like, oh, you wanted something stronger. He's like, maybe some coffee. Like, Rob takes control of any situation that he's in. Immediately, he's got Derek, he's got Taylor, he got Julie. They're all trying to be. It's like, no, this is my way.
Yeah. Steven in the chat says, Boss Rob did love the iced tea time on.
That's true.
Reference on Dondi. It's a big week for Dondi. There's lots of Dondi talk these days. Yeah,
this is so weird. Like, we'll talk. I guess we'll talk about more on Big Brother Unlocked. I don't know if they're doing an episode this Sunday due to the doubleheader, but like, this is like watching an ostrich in a horse race. Like, it has the capability. It certainly can run fast, but I didn't expect it in this setting, and we'll see how it adapts to it.
Well, Julie brings up Boston Rob's, of course, many Survivor appearances, and she said, and you did come in second place on The Amazing Race, which is a notorious sore subject.
Yeah, I'm glad Boston Rob made his flight out to LA to attend this episode.
But no mention of the non-CBS reality shows, including most recently The Traders, or even Deal or No Deal Island. Not part of the Boston Rob resume as far as the CBS is concerned.
I just also, like, truly, it is the most Big Brother thing ever for us at the end of this incredible episode that is like so entrenched, like the way that we all were so entrenched. We knew the minutia. We knew the fact that if Vince is going and talking to Keanu and saying this, that he's probably gonna flip. Like we knew every little detail that's happening, and it just ending with something that confused everyone across the board completely.
That's Big Brother,
Like,
baby.
It is so Big Brother. It is so why this show is so embarrassing. And I love it more than anything in the world.
I'm just so curious to see how they square this on Big Brother Unlocked, where you had Bobby Moynihan and then you had Jerry O'Connell, and they're like, okay, they are celebrity Big Brother super fans. And to my knowledge, Boston Rob has never seen one episode of this television show. So
Robbie, are you telling me that Boston Rob isn't going to spontaneously tweet out about my book?
hey, I'll tell you where I get my Big Brother information every single day.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta say, buy Taran Armstrong's book.
Smarten up.
Although he left Boston, I didn't like that.
I
Smarten
like
up,
that.
Taran.
Listen, it's no BR rules, but he is a fellow author to educate people on how to play these shows. I mean, yeah, we'll drink every time that we're going to get some sort of mention. We'll have like, well, on Survivor, it works like this. Like, does Boston Rob know what a power of veto is?
Look,
I
think that now there is a way in which I'm sure like Boston Rob is one of the most incredible like judges of people. He can read people like probably nobody else who's ever been on one of these shows. Like he has a lot of incredible skills that you could like, you know, show him things and ask him about. But as far as like the actual like game dynamics of Big Brother, like I really don't think that this is his wheelhouse. It'll be very interesting to see what they do with him, especially as they count down to the wall comp.
He's like, what are they doing? Oh, okay. Do they go anywhere? No.
You call this an endurance comp?
So
how long do you watch this? All day? Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of watching it all day, of course, we mentioned at the top of the show that this episode was sponsored by our friends over at Pluto TV. And if you're a Big Brother super fan, do you know that Pluto TV is the exclusive free streaming platform for Big Brother live feeds, and they're streaming it all season long. Of course, the Big Brother live feeds gives you 24/7 access to the show. Of course, you know that already. With all the real-time conversations and strategy sessions, late night snacks, of course, that's one of my favorite parts. The drama that sometimes doesn't make it to the air, a lot of times actually. With 5 different live feeds, jump between the rooms and never miss a moment. And if that wasn't enough, Pluto TV also has the on-demand episodes if you ever miss one from the season, so you can rewatch the chaos or get caught up whenever you want. Again, all completely free. Check out Pluto TV wherever you get your streaming services. Now, we're still waiting for the wall comp to come on tonight, and so still we're watching all these wonderful animals. I turned on the live feeds on the TV the other day and checked out what was going on over on the Pluto TV. My dog went nuts. My dog was like,
your dogs riveted. At the crib? They were
my
wild?
dog at the crib was riveted. That she really thought that anytime there's an animal on TV, but this was like, you know how they like dart at the screen. She really thought there was like a dog trying to get out of the screen. Really, I had to mute it because it was just throwing her so off.
Well, yeah, probably because there's also no animal noises. It's just the same rock and roll 30-second stinger played ad nauseum for hours at an end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
my cat has never once been remotely interested in the pets.
Is that a cat thing, Taran? Do cats look at the TV?
I feel like I get pictures from people all the time that are like, "Oh, it's my cat watching the podcast, watching the animals on the thing."
Yeah.
But not callous.
She stared at the screen for an hour, just waiting for the.
That's
TV.
phenomenal.
That's the Big Brother experience, baby. That's what we're all doing as we're waiting for the
one of us.
to come up.
Yeah.
So your dog, it's like, they cut the feeds. Now the people are back on it.
Yeah, there's all these feed cuts. I only get like 3 hours of them 3 times a week.
Yeah. So Should we take some questions from the audience?
not?
Yeah.
Let's see what they have to say. Of course, we'll also have our BB Q&A coming up on Friday for the patrons of RHAP. Taran and I will be live after the live feed update, which should be a lively one because we still have to crown our new HOH in the endurance comp tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of important things on the line here.
Okay. All right. And then let's give it a little more time, and then let's see if we're going to get this wall comp or not tonight. Finnegan has a question. What are Will's winning prospects now?
Certainly much better than they were before. I mean, he helped create an alliance that then dictated a massive blindside vote. That's huge. He's still in a spot where it's not like he's the most active game player. It's still a spot where it's like, what are his actual chances of getting to the end of winning end game competitions? They're all still pretty low. But this is the kind of thing I think he needed on his resume, that he needed to sort of like be a part of. And of course, even more so than that, it like just puts him in a much better position to make a deeper run than if Rylie had stayed, if Morgan had left, and that entire other side of the house started running the table.
Yeah, I mean, what I think is so interesting about getting rid of someone like Rylie is that, again, he's not an outright comp beast, but he seemed to be like pretty much all around good at everything besides maybe buzzer management. The fact that he ends up winning. He won that balance HOH competition. He ends up winning that sort of like more mental competition for the blockbuster. And the past 2 seasons, at least, were dictated heavily by those endgame competitions. So I think from that perspective, Will could still be a little bit behind some of the other competitors due to the fact that he hasn't really won anything yet. But then again, considering the wild, wacky way this season has gone, if he is at the end with people who are similarly, around the same skill set in terms of competitions, he might be able to prevail in ways that he probably wouldn't before.
Let's go back to Keanu. What will Keanu do now? Taran, I have to say I'm a little concerned with Keanu. He's on the opposite side of the vote than what Rachel wanted to do. And I'm just worried that perhaps, like, if Keanu comes into power, considering some of who his allies are, I worry he could be convinced to turn against Rachel.
I don't think he would. But now I say that, I should probably say he will, given how this season tends to play out. But I think that he's got plenty of people to be mad at. He still doesn't have a good relationship with Will or Ashley. Certainly not a good one with Mickey or Morgan. I think he's going to be upset with Rachel. But again, she has a lot of leverage now to be like, dude, I tried telling you. It doesn't make any sense for his game to go after Rachel, which is maybe why he would.
Nevertheless.
Yep.
I hear you. Listen, the way that the game should play out from here is that he should not be targeting Rachel. In fact, he's in some trouble, I would say, heading into this next week. I think that if Morgan were to win, I think Keanu would be the top target for her.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so we should mention, as well as we're sort of forecasting for the future, no mention of jury tonight. This was going to be the possible first stopping point, right? That we're down to 11 people. That was sort of the jury side from Big Brother 15 through 24. So I would imagine, barring any other twists, much like that checkpoint, Rob, that Morgan likes to mention a lot, we're probably looking at another 7-person jury, which... Listen, we're halfway through the season. We got to start, much like Rylie's eviction, shuffling these people out the door sooner rather than later. So, they didn't announce a double for next week, so we might have 2 more weeks of pre-jury.
Well, I do think that is a thing that benefits Rachel, where either way, where if you have a smaller jury, you really decrease the chance that, Rachel ends up having to sit in the jury for over a month, where, she's a gamer. She wouldn't leave the jury. But I think that, if she does come in 7th place, it's only like a couple of weeks in the jury for her. I don't think they did it specifically for her, but I do think it's a thing that helps her.
Yeah, I also think that a 7-person jury, those people know what's really going on in the game. you know,
Mhm.
like by the time they're
Well,
voting. Okay, barring this season, but I feel like you at least get people who were just in the game 3 weeks ago versus 5 or 6 weeks ago. People who are actually like have gamed really closely with some of those final 3 versus people who were just in the house with them, maybe never really worked with them, maybe didn't get an up close and personal view of their game. I'm a huge fan of the 7-person jury over a 9-person jury, in my opinion.
Okay. How about from Nate? Who's in the most danger going into this week? Is there one person who's clearly at the bottom heading into this next week?
I do think Keanu's in some danger.
Mhm.
I do think Rachel is still in some danger. I'm willing to bet that they are the top 2 targets from either, respective side, theoretically, that could win. But, tertiary targets, people like Ashley, people like Catherine and Lauren now, and Mickey could still be very much some collateral damage. There's a lot of still like momentum against Mickey. So Mickey being a pawn that leaves could make a lot of sense. Mickey even being a target, like a consensus, I'm going to please the house target, makes a lot of sense.
What about Kelly? I feel like, with all the talk even about Kelly going up this week, it still feels like, despite, again, you feeling like there's clearly delineated sides, I feel like she hasn't really found people yet that would want to keep her sincerely.
Yeah, I mean, I could very easily see, let's say Morgan wins, it's Kelly, Keanu, and maybe Catherine on the block. Keanu wins that veto. Now maybe Lauren's on the block. It's probably not going to be that simple at that point. It's probably going to be Mickey or Rachel or something, silly. But it's certainly a lot of things can happen. And we're getting down in numbers here. So there are now like 11 people left in the game, roughly.
Final 11.
So with one HOH, that leaves 10 potential nominees. That's a third of the house basically going up on the block. And if the veto is used, that's another person. And so when it comes to like who's a target, with the blockbuster in play, the specific target doesn't have as much of an impact. It's more about like what range of people are you in. So there's all kinds of stuff that could happen here.
Taran, do you remember last season if the AI arena went up until, was it when jury started, did they go down to 2, or was there a point where did they go down to only, did they stop the AI arena prior to their even starting jury?
I feel like they stopped it right on the Joseph eviction, so right before jury started.
Yeah, it was right around then, which was, I think it was heading into week 8 that it stopped. So we are entering week 7. This was the final week last season for that.
They did not tease it as, and then Thursday it'll be the final blockbuster of the season.
Now there were fewer people last season. There's 17 this season. There were 16 last season. So theoretically, it could go another week, and then it would be right before jury. But they also said permanent at the start of this season. We still don't know if that meant like for future seasons or if it means we'll run it down until we can't anymore for this season. But either way, I think we're in for at least 2 more weeks.
Wow. You think it could go down to like where there's like 6 people in the house and there's 3 nominees and the AI arena is still on Thursday night?
I mean, until it's mathematically impossible to keep running it, it's theoretically.
I think that they'll do 2 more weeks of AI arena, and then when they're done with that, they'll do the double eviction.
We do need to fit double evictions in, so that's a big part of it.
Yeah. People were looking at the schedule of like maybe it was September 11th, might be a 2-hour episode.
Yeah, Jimmy had some theories.
If we do August 28th, next week is AI arena. Then the week after, that's what, September 4th-ish, AI arena, and then that next week is the double eviction. Then you'll get an exciting competition on
that's wild. Episodes. The jury will start with what, 2 weeks left in the game.
Yeah,
that's how they've liked
I'm
to
all
do
for
it.
it. I'm all for it. Honestly, I'm into it.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I feel like there's a couple different.
Whoa, that's wild.
There we go. 25 years in the making. But yeah, I do feel like
what a poll.
On the one hand, you don't want the situation of like Davon in Big Brother 18, right, where she was like in the jury house for 2 months. On the other hand, it does I don't know, it feels odd to me. It's like having a Survivor post-merge that is like, a week in game. It just doesn't feel like when you, again, there's a reason why they called it a checkpoint, is it feels like, okay, you've reached this sort of milestone. So it does feel kind of odd that we're really lengthening the pre-jury portion of this, and then to be like, okay, hurry up, we gotta get to September 28th.
Look, expect the unexpected.
Godspeed.
Yeah. Okay. Leah wants to know, how much at risk is Rachel this week?
I would say a decent amount still. As I said, people like Kelly, Catherine, Lauren, even somebody like Vince, I think at this point could try to take a shot at Rachel. And I don't think she has the loyalty within her own group to like ensure any kind of votes that she would stay against a decent amount of people. I think that there are a lot of people on Rachel's side that would be like, oops, oh well, very like sort of Dan Giesling in season 14 kind of thing, where like the second he touches the block, it's like, oh well, Dan, sorry. And so that could be a problem. But again, with Blockbuster and the veto and the different ways that things could shake out, there's definitely still some options. If she does end up on the block next to somebody like Mickey, then she's got another chance, right? So she's in trouble, but there's nobody that's in like dire trouble. There's nobody who's a consensus house target.
There's
that
no one in a
everyone will be
must-win
working toward
situation.
getting out. Yeah.
Okay. This question from Brenda. Does Lauren take any heat for Rylie leaving?
I think, yeah, a bit. But also, like, who else is Catherine gonna talk to?
Yeah.
They
they can't afford to have Lauren take heat. Like,
I know.
Who else does Catherine have?
And then there's also this idea, right, that like, yes, she did push over the series of dominoes to get to this point, but like, Lauren did not vote Rylie out, right? Like, she showed her loyalty at the end of the day. I also love this sort of like Renaissance fresca image we got at the beginning of the episode, where you have like Keanu and Kelly embracing and Catherine and Lauren embracing over the idea of Rylie being on the block. Again, goes to show, I think, Taran's very salient comments in the moment of like, people really like this guy in the house, but it just took the right amount of circumstances, the right alliance to form as well. I think that's something that also really helped Rachel's HOH success here, is that, as you've talked about many times, she was able to utilize that power and that position to be like, let's make something happen now, even as temporary as it might be. So yeah, what a night to talk about. Like, this was, from a fandom perspective, this felt like this sort of like emotional roller coaster, to say the least. The most significant moment happening off the camera, during the entire episode. So we're halfway through the season. Are we enjoying ourselves? Taran, Maggie, you infamously went on an update one time and you said, like, are you having fun? I'm not having fun. We have 6 more weeks of this. The groundhog has seen its shadow. Are we enjoying ourselves?
Mike, earlier in the podcast, I saw a comment in the chat. It was somebody that said, "Is this what gambling feels like?" I think that's my response.
I might have another one. I'm having such a great time.
Yeah.
So after off pod, don't worry. I'm having a great time now. I think honestly,
You gotta make it through the wall comp, Maggie.
Yeah. The
Maggie's gonna hit a wall.
The Ava Rachel back-to-back HOH, with the Zach leaving, with the power, with Rylie leaving in this exciting vote. I am having so much fun right now. And I'm sure in 2 weeks, everything will be bad again and we'll hate this season and it'll be terrible. And that's just the roller coaster we're all on,
Yeah, I've really been having a great time, but it's also due to what has kept my passion and love alive for this entire genre for the better part of a quarter century, which is mess and chaos. This is like the perfect B movie, the BBB movie, where you are walking in and you're like,
low budget movie?
Exactly, where it's like, I'm not going to see anything next level. There's not going to be anyone that's going to make the Big Brother Hall of Fame in terms of incredible gameplay from this group, but they are guaranteed to bring you a great time. Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see, but it'll guarantee no matter what to bring you a great time at the theater. It'll have you scratching your head sometimes, being like, why did they make that decision? Sometimes it's so bad, it's good with some of the things that these people are doing. But regardless, I have been having such a fun time watching these people navigate the game of Big Brother. It's a very unorthodox season, but it's not to say it's not a fun one.
Are you not entertained, people?
It really feels like they keep beating us down during the week to then like get these spikes on the eviction night. Like, what? That we didn't think good things would happen, and then like immediately they disappoint us again. We're like, oh, geez, these people. There's no way another good thing will happen. What? Another good thing happened? Mm-hmm. Oh, but again they screw up. Oh, geez. That's just been the whole ride so far.
Yeah. I mean, and that is the roller coaster, and people love roller coasters.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. I think everyone's gonna, have to resort to blood pressure medication after this season, considering how much we have been up and down, even through this evening, right? Like the Big Brother blockbuster has probably caused the most agita across the Big Brother fandom over the past 25 years in terms of just in the moment, freaking out. Those people who are not sports fans get that dose in this moment of like
Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, I literally felt like my dad clapping so loud. Like when Mickey voted out Rylie, the loud clap that I did on the couch, just one, I was like, who am I? Who am I?
I hurt my hands.
Yeah. It was so like, it was from my gut. It was a guttural response.
That's the thing. This is a very visceral season, I think. Like, obviously a lot of clips of you, Taran, and others have gone viral because I think it's just promoted so many complicated emotions from us. Luckily, for the most part, not in a way that, other seasons that shall not be named can promote in its discourse, but more so from this idea of like, these people are constantly gaming, but doing so at like such an odd remedial level at the same time that I love it. They are hamsters for a reason, and that they are going cuckoo right now, running on that wheel and somehow getting back to the same position week after week.
This is a pretty interesting question from Chris, who says, who would you say is the favorite to win the season as of right now?
Careful. Whoever Taran says will be gone next week.
He's the Keanu.
It's so wide open.
Hey, Kelly.
I do feel like Vince has some things to work through, but I do think keeping Morgan is so good for him. He should be able to be in good with Rachel's crew now. And despite Keanu and Kelly being mad at him, they have nowhere else to turn. This should put him in a much better position as long as he's able to do proper damage control. So watch out for Vince. I think that if Rachel can continue to like get through the next couple of evictions in the danger that she's in, she's really starting to build some momentum. She certainly has a resume now. So watch out for Rachel. And then, like from there, it's like, man, it's very wide open. I would say very few people. There are people like Ava and Will that really need to step up their game. There are people like Kelly who just has like no shot. Somebody like Keanu needs to comp out, but still could win. Lauren would also likely need to comp out, but could win if she does. Catherine now with a new sort of path to get to the end. Ashley in there with weirdly a shot. Morgan now has a better chance. Mickey, I would say, is looking rough. Probably not a good shot to win, but it is still a long time until the finale. So don't neglect too much of a comeback there, though not super likely at this point.
I have a prediction. I think that if Vince gets to the final two, he will lose a jury vote and he will have a bitter jury.
I was wondering that.
He cannot handle it. He can't mitigate the responses. He doesn't know how to. He can give people what they want, but you read it all over his face that he's so worried you're going to be mad at him. And I think that does not bode well. And sort of owning my game, send people out the door, not feeling betrayed by me situation.
I could see that, especially again, you say that some people have a bunch of time to sit in the jury house and kind of stew on it, but there's also this idea of like with a 2.5 week turnaround as well as we're, forecasting here, like that might be a wound fresh as all get out too. I mean, I would say, Mag, you're talking very, I think, accurately from a micro perspective, even from a macro perspective. I don't know. I know you say this is the Survivor Gabon. This is more so Survivor 46 to me. And Survivor 46 was just mess from beginning to end, including the jury vote, where it was just like, what happened? Who voted where? Why did that happen? I think we are going to get an absolute cluster F of a final vote where any votes we predict are going to go completely the opposite. You talk about Taran, the people that might be drawing dead. Who knows? They might win at the end of the day because for some reason someone decided in that moment, like, okay, well, Kelly decided to mention South Dakota, and I've always wanted to go see Mount Rushmore, so I'm going to give my vote to you. Like, I think that's what this
Kelly
season
is the
deserves.
Liz.
I also think that Vince is the type of person who would make a mistake and bring someone like an Ava to the end and be like, all she did was sleep. All she did was sleep. All I did, I worked my butt off this whole game and all she did was sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's
I pooped my pants off.
Okay. Do I dare ask the question? Who's the worst possible HOH to win this comp? Do we want to have that?
Kelly.
From like our perspective, or like from some person's perspective?
From our selfish perspective.
I think Mickey winning this comp would be just insufferable to have to listen to her be on her high horse all week. Like, I think that would be really, really bad.
I don't think
for
she's
us.
Got it.
I think
Mickey would be worse than Kelly.
Yeah, and I also think Lauren winning would be really, really, really
yeah.
tough for Taran specifically. I would really be worried about you if Lauren won. I think Taran.
I do enjoy the impression of Lauren though, so
yeah,
that.
it's just like, make a decision. You know, it's that. Oh my gosh! But Mickey, I do think is the worst for us.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, she did not necessarily get, you know, the information jetted up against her current reality, right? She believed she had the votes. I would stand to believe, unless she's told differently, that nobody is going to tell her if you didn't win the blockbuster, I would be voting to evict you. So the Mictator has avoided an assassination attempt, and it's only going to make her more power hungry and more mad.
I hate that. Okay. All right. So Gary wants to know, would you rather fight a giant mosquito one time and get your ass kicked, or be done with it and then keep your relationship with mosquitoes?
What a resurgence.
I think
we're so back.
I'm okay. I think I'm okay with my relationship with mosquitoes.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't bother me.
I'd get my ass whooped.
Just one time.
Just one time. Be done with mosquitoes forever? Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it depends on how I think I do in the fight. You know, like, what do I think my odds would be? If I feel like I could prevail, then absolutely, to Taran's point, it's one and done. If not,
yeah, but it's not. Would you fight a mosquito? It's that you have to get your ass beat by a mosquito.
You have to take the beating. It's the initiation.
Yeah.
Also, what does he mean by that? Is the mosquito like punching me, or is he just like giving me the biggest mosquito bite ever? Like, how
anthropomorphized is this mosquito? Does he have like? Is he swole? Does he?
I think so.
Is the mosquito thick?
You are fighting a giant mosquito and getting your ass kicked.
How am I getting my ass kicked? Does it know Krav Maga? Does it have a bat? How much physical pain? Am I going to be in traction? Will this put me in a coma? Is this the Twilight Zone-esque twist that I'll wish I was dead after the mosquito's done with me?
No, but then you'll be done with it.
Yeah, but it won't matter if I'm a vegetable, Rob.
I don't know. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Rob saying in such earnest, but then you'll be done with it.
You'll be done with it. Okay. So should we start to wind down for tonight? It doesn't seem like
we're
going
wound
to be
up coming in.
The wall comp. This might be the endurance comp for us. It might be the pressure cooker to get to the wall comp. So why don't we wrap up here tonight?
Okay, can we call out here, because we listed off some short lists as to who win. Who will be first off the wall?
Will.
Or
Will.
Ava.
Yeah. Will be off the wall or Ava by the time the feats come up.
Good chance.
Yeah, because I also feel like the thing with these endurance comps is they have lasted less than the runtime of an episode of Big Brother as of late, right? We're looking at like 38, 40 minutes tops.
So just to put a time on this, so 11 o'clock Eastern is when the episode will start airing on the East Coast or on the West Coast, and then 1 hour after that. So probably around like midnight is when we're expecting the wall comp to start, midnight Eastern.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be ready at midnight. Could still be as late as like 12:30 plus, given sort of like the track record, I would say. But I'll be back live on YouTube and Twitch to watch it if it does in fact start around then. So you can stay tuned for that if you want to hang out and watch with me.
Of course, and you can keep an eye on it, of course, with our friends over at Pluto TV. Let's talk about what else we've got coming up Friday. Of course, the big highly anticipated interview with Rylie coming up on Friday. Very much looking forward to hearing what he has to say. The Vince exit interviews made such waves last week, Mike.
Zach.
Oh, sorry. Zach exit interviews made such waves.
Rob saw the alternate universe where the opposite happened. But Zach.
Usually I call him Matt.
There we go. Zach made a lot of rounds. He had some opinions. I'm sure Rylie will as well. So yeah, be sure to check out all the great stuff that all of us are doing. You know, us, Dalton Ross, Sharon Tharp, all of us working hard in these BB streets to bring you the first boots on the ground and talking with these people, cowboy boots in this case, as they step out of the house.
Okay.
Mike, I appreciate the speed with which you get yours up because we were able to ask a follow-up question to Zach based on your interview, which is very fun.
I am very quick to get it up, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Big Brother Unlocked. So Sunday night, Corey in America usually hosts Big Brother Unlocked right after the episode 2 recap. But this week, I believe, because we're doing Big Brother Unlocked going into the Sunday night episode, Taran, you're going to be with America and Corey after the 2-hour block of Big Brother.
Rob, I don't drink tea.
Okay. Yes.
But it will be spilled.
It will be spilled, okay, when it's going to be Taran with Corey after the episode of Big Brother coming up on Sunday night. Be on the lookout for that. Mike, you and I got the Survivor 49 preseason kicked off yesterday as we're just 5 weeks away from Survivor 49.
Yeah, they got rid of the BB weather comp, but we're in a deluge of reality TV right now. So Survivor 49 released its cast yesterday. Rob and I got together to do the official cast reveal, giving you just a little tidbits, just a taste of what you need to know about these 18 new people, including pet peeves, Taran. And then starting today, we kicked off our preseason interview series where we're doing one-a-days. I am releasing the interview I got to do out in Fiji with the cast. We've got 1 down and 17 to go. So feel free to check it out. We're a little over a month removed from Survivor 49's premiere. It's going to premiere just a few days before the Big Brother finale. So get hype, people.
Okay, yeah, check it out. Our daily Survivor 49 updates coming out. Check that out every day from Mike Bloom. Then also we talked this week with Shannon Gus about week 1 of Australian Survivor versus the World. Of course, week 2 coverage is going to kick off on Sunday. And of course, we make it so easy for our patrons to check out all of the Australian Survivor episodes. And then Friday, I mentioned Taran and I will be live for the BB Q&A. That kicks off 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll be talking about the new HOH and the nominations and so much more with you when we take your calls over on Patreon, including where you could hear a brand new show that we dropped for the patrons.
Wow.
Nicole knows it all. What does the First Lady of Podcasting have to say when she's answering your questions and helping you with your problems? Check out the first episode of Nicole Knows It All over on our patron feed, robinswebsite.com/patron. Also, you could get our early access to our San Francisco show there. And for everybody else who wants to join us in New York, robinswebsite.com/events. And thanks to our sponsor for tonight's episode, Pluto TV. And they'll have the wall comp where you can watch it for free. Stream now, pay never over at Pluto TV. Okay, fun stuff here tonight. Maggie, what else is coming up for you tonight or beyond?
I will be covering. I went on a little vacation last week. The past 2 weeks, I've been kind of out, but I will be back on with you guys next week, discussing Big Brother. I'm around. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky at MLMorgan_.
Okay. Great job here tonight. Maggie, enjoy that second martini.
I won't be having one. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. Well, Mike Bloom has got the hat back on.
There we go. Trying to get back into the Cowboy game, Rob. I will say, actually, going back to something we talked about half an hour ago at this point, I actually am really excited to hear Boston Rob talk about Big Brother. Does he officially complete the CBS trifecta here?
No, I don't think this counts as an appearance of that. He didn't play Big Brother.
But I think regardless, as jocular as we might be about it, I do think that he really has a penchant for social strategy games, and especially talking about social strategy games as well. Some of my favorite podcasts you've done, Rob, are just him talking about how he handles the game. And I think that despite how much it might be apples and oranges, like, he knows his way around fruit.
Right. And as you saw with the traders, like Rob can jump into a new show. His skill is being able to read people and really understand human nature. And he's very good at that. So I think that there's certainly like a interview you can do about this game with Boston Rob that I think that would be extremely compelling. Does Big Brother Unlocked give Taylor and Derek that opportunity to have that conversation with Rob in the confines of Big Brother Unlocked? We'll find out on Sunday.
So you can, of course, check out tomorrow my conversation with Rylie, putting out the Survivor interviews at Parade. Also did parsing out some stuff that I talked about with Jeff Probst about yesterday, including the situation that led to a last-minute casting change on Survivor 49. You mentioned Australia versus the world. I am one of the recap bitches covering Australian Survivor, which has been so much fun so far. If you are a Survivor fan and you haven't found the ways and means to check it out, get to it ASAP. Watch an episode while you're waiting for the feeds to come up. It is that good. And hey, it features a former Big Brother player in Suri. Follow me at a Mike Bloom type. The last thing I want to do is shout out. It's an eviction episode, so it makes sense to do a shout out. We're a little over 24 hours removed from yesterday's episode, and I really want to commend the two of you, Rob and Taran, as well as Brendan and Taylor. I think especially now in the wake of Rylie's departure, for I think speaking on to some very important topics with the weight that it needed. I think especially in a day and age where we are talking so much about narrative and how certain events can be skewed in different ways to obscure, some darker underlying issues. I think, I speak on behalf of a lot of people, hopefully, when I say I really appreciate what you guys were able to say about, the reality of the situation with Rylie and Catherine versus what we got on our screen. Certainly it is something that we are going to address tomorrow. So again, this is why you guys are the best of the biz. So thank you so much for speaking on that the way you did.
I totally agree, Mike. It has been something that was really plaguing me all week. Obviously, this podcast has been very celebratory and jovial. But I also did want to, if we're on this topic, say that there are resources for people at hotline.org. There's lots of different articles that you can read, lots of resources, just sort of along this topic. If you recognize any of these behaviors in your own life, some things that you can use in order to help yourself and learn about these situations from more educated people.
Yeah, I saw Taran's name trending on Twitter after the episode last night.
It was probably the NBA player.
No.
NBA's out of season, Taran. This is all you. This is your season.
Yeah.
Well, if you like the things I have to say, I do have a book coming out, Behind the Mirror, that you can, of course, pre-order. Lots of things discussed in there, and I would very much appreciate if you decided to check it out and thought it was worthwhile. And as I mentioned, I will be live tonight hanging out for the wall comp. So come and hang out with me doing that.
All right. Well, fun stuff on a very exciting eviction night after. This is really 2 in a row after last week where Keanu won the blockbuster, and that was a very exciting night. And so it's It's been some interesting Thursday nights these last couple of weeks. So thank you for being here with us. Enjoy the wall comp, and we'll be back with you on a busy Friday. Take care. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. Also, sorry to the audience. Bad news. But your draft picks of Zay and Rylie have officially been eliminated. The audience will not win the Big Brother 27 draft.
Man.
Very sad to
Sorry,
say.
guys.
Tough for
Sorry
you guys.
to end the night on a down note. Take care. Have a
Get
good
him
one.
next time.
Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.